All right, welcome back to the Battle of Sexes where we argue and battle over different topics. So with all that said, let's go.
A lot of people don't want to believe this, but y'all, it be men causing more issues than women in certain situations. It be the men that be broadcasting the problems. It be the men that be difficult when it comes to co-parenting. It be the men that be making things difficult. I just think it's always been a thing where people automatically assume it's always the woman, but no, it be the men. In some situations, it might be the woman, but I am a firm believer that most of the time it be the men that be causing the most issues. A lot of times, especially when the relationship over and we know the relationship over, it's really nothing to discuss. I know for me, once I'm done with the relationship or I'm done with the person, that's it. There's nothing else for us to discuss. We can just continue with the regular scheduled programming. Like it's not that deep. But I'm telling y'all, 9 times out of 10, it be the men being difficult. It be the men putting other people in y'all business. It be the men. And that be so hard for people to believe.
That was fucking stupid because she didn't give any real example of how it's the men. And how does she know 9 times out of 10? Has she done a personal study to know that it's 9 times out of 10?
I
That,
agree.
All right, so let's
this
go.
is
So
such a
that's for
blanket
us.
statement.
So that's for us to discuss. So who usually makes co-parenting harder, men or women?
Well, Drake said it best. Niggas talk more than bitches these days.
Mm, okay.
So
Drake don't
Drake
speak for
said it
no
best.
real niggas. So we're gonna just exclude that bullshit. Secondly, I can only speak from personal experience.
No doubt.
And it was both of us making it hard because we went tit for tat. It's like you do some shit, I'm gonna do some shit. So if she made it hard, I made it harder. And then if I made it harder, she made it harder than that. So it just depends on everybody's personal experience. I personally, if I could do it all over again, I don't co-parenting sucks ass. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't really consider it co-parenting. Is you're parenting when you got them, and I'm parenting when I got them. We ain't co shit. Because I didn't call her when something came up, and she didn't call me when she had them and something came up. So I don't know if it could really be considered co-parenting.
Okay, okay. Who else got something?
Me personally, I felt like the generalization is not good. But in my experience, even coming out of it, my ex calls people and tell our business in the marriage, and I don't
Mhm.
like it. I don't call people and do it. So in my experience, he does. He calls people and keep them in the loop and stuff, and he calls and he speaks poorly about me, and I don't care. He has 3 sisters and a bunch of cousins. He can call anybody in his family, but he to this day he still calls, and they're not friends. So he still calls because he knows that the person that he's talking to is my sister's husband. So he just wants people to keep, they're not friends. So I just believe that sometimes the way the relationship ends, or have the woman has the audacity to want better. Some men are emotionally immature, and they literally do have a problem, and women too, but they do have a problem if a person decides to leave. They are very emotionally immature. They go, and I'm not going tit for tat like that energy where you said that. I'm not doing that. You have very limited energy throughout the day, and I'm
Mhm.
not spending it going back and
I got
forth.
unlimited energy for that. I could do that for the rest of my life. I
Yeah,
have
I'm not doing
unlimited
that. I
energy for
don't.
that shit.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm vindictive. I don't give a fuck. We just go on forever,
What
endless.
the Bible says,
Yeah.
vengeance is for the Lord, my child,
I'm
and we
not
know.
Christian, so I don't care about the
Oh
vengeance of the
Lord
Lord.
Jesus.
I like to be the vengeance. When they talk about karma, I like to be my own karma. I
No,
don't want
I'm that
nobody else
guy.
to get you.
Be careful who you cross. Some people, that's how they think. It is what it is, boss. What you got, man? Son G. Who got it?
I'm gonna say it's not people, it's patterns.
Okay.
Like unhealed people cause more problems. That's
Hurt
your
people, hurt people, hurt
relationship.
people.
Yeah, your relationship patterns, your choices in conflict, like unhealed people cause bigger problems. Healed people are gonna regulate easier.
Okay. I agree with you
Yeah,
on that one.
I
What you
agree
got?
with her.
What you
I
got,
do
P?
agree with her. Like what that woman is saying is it's not true. She's generalizing it in the wrong way. Everybody's different. Everyone has
Mm-hmm.
different experiences. So I think that the louder people or the louder we are, it's because we had a lot of insecurities and a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen how when it comes to co-parenting, like I
Mm-hmm.
have seen how on occasions where the women are like complaining all the time and bitching and all that stuff, but well, their husbands and the parents, the father is just being a provider, and I have seen that this is fucked up and it's wrong. And
Hmm.
I have seen also occasions and a lot lately. I pretty much like raised my kids on my own, even though I was married for twice, and I was they both were accent most of their
Mm-hmm.
life. So, but nowadays I also seeing girls and mothers that have been trying to do the best thing they can. They are providers, they are nurturers, and they work hard and they pay the bills and all that stuff. And then I see these men walking into their life and at the end of the day complaining about how bad of a mother they're being to their children's. Like I have seen it all. And like I say, it's hard to it's wrong to generalize and say that men are like whatever. No,
I
it's
mean, I
both
think
ways.
the
And I think that the
only
louder they are, the more issues they have. They just being ungrateful little bitches. I don't know. It's not men. It could just be anybody. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna
yeah.
say I do feel like the video was kind of bland, but I kind of feel like, and I'm not a parent, but from experience I've seen with co-parenting and things like that, I kind of do feel like sometimes the women kind of do a little more than the men do. And it's like I seen a video the other day where this guy was trying to bring his child some Christmas gifts, and she called the police on him like, you not doing that. You ain't paying child support. He's like, I am paying child support, but because I'm not with you, I can't even see my kids and give them Christmas gifts, like
Mhm.
stuff like that. I'm like,
I
girl,
have one
like
of those.
I see why he left your ass, because I would have left your ass too. But the fact that I can't even gift my child Christmas gifts because you mad because of whatever, or I don't want to be with you, or whatever this is. That's
Yeah.
very unfair. That's very unhealthy. I think that is the most selfish thing in the world. I really can't stand when females do that, because you really got some guys out here that are good guys. And I've actually, like I said, I've kind of seen the co-parenting go bad more on the females' perspective. I've seen women, I mean, just do dumb stuff. They can't take him here. You can't take him there. Don't do this. Don't do that. What's wrong with his father going to give him a haircut? Why he got to ask you for permission to get his son's haircut? Like, if he's doing it and he's trying to make the little boy look decent and you don't even got to pay for it, why are you running? Like, shut up. That's what you want him to do. But it's like you want him to do it on your terms, and that's not cool. That's not fair. Like Judge Judy say, there's two parents. No one has more rights than the other. So just because you're the woman, that don't mean anything. Like it's good as fathers out here that's better parents than some of these mothers out here.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So and I might get some backlash from some of the women who might watch this or whatever, but I definitely feel like it's
It
more
is not
issues
true.
with women in the co-parenting than it is men.
It is.
You
I
know, I
think it's
get you.
different. I think it's displayed. I think it's different problems. Like you
Mm-hmm.
do get a lot of that type of stuff with more with women. I think
Mm-hmm.
the men's behavior is just a different type of backlash. It's not usually that. It's
Mhm.
sometimes the exact opposite, and women have a problem with that, like the lack of involvement or just the non-resistance. Like they're just like whatever. If you don't want to bring them, that's fine. If you don't want me to see them, that's fine, because they don't want to fight. And
Right.
women are like, "Oh, you don't want to see your son because you're not fighting."
Yeah, and then it's
So
making
there's a
it
lot of like
extra.
push
It's
and
making
pull
it
because we're
extra.
just different. We
Well,
just
I get
handle
it.
things differently.
Yeah, true. CP, what you got? You muted. You muted.
I think everybody's situation is different. I did hear now when she said about Judge Judy. My oldest son father wasn't in the picture, period. Never, not to this day, but he got a relationship with his stepmama and his brother and sister. My 13-year-old, we just got to the point where we co-parent very well. And that's because his wife, different situation. We both have matured. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't let him take him in and everywhere because my son is on the spectrum. And
Right.
my son's father think, okay, I could do this and this, and he can run and roam. No, because the first moment you tell me you can't find them, it's a problem because he doesn't understand that part of his situation. So I don't allow him to take him anywhere he want to go unless that wife is with him because he's too laid back with it. But like I said, every situation is different. He just doesn't see, he doesn't understand that part of his situation that I grew up with. Like I had my son since 13. I know that autism piece, and he's a male and he's looking at, oh, he'll outgrow it. And that's why. But I mean, I think it's both men and women. I think there's a situation where we women do hold our kids as pawns. At the beginning, I was guilty of that. We do be in our emotions, but once both, and then I've seen situations with my son father where if me and him is not good, then he didn't do anything. So we've grown, but we also had a lot of tumbling situations. But I think it takes growth and maturity to get to the healthy co-parenting.
I get it. I agree with you. Son Boogie, what y'all got?
I'll go first, Boogie. All right. So first of all, the girl in the clip, man, like when you talk about sounding bitter, that's what bitter sounds like. Because she didn't even give us a reason why men would have
Or an example.
No example. And then, okay, she threw in a contradiction. She said, once the relationship is over, then there's nothing else to talk about. But I'm like, that's where the most talking begins right there. And so you put her in a situation. Okay, let's just say she's the mother. She's the problem because she has nothing to talk about. So there's no conversation. So she's going to be, like Shanta said, holding that child as a pawn in those situations. Now, what if she's the girlfriend or the wife? She's going to make it even worse because she's going to have a problem with the conversation that her husband or boyfriend is having with the mother. And he's never going to be able to parent properly. She's going to be in the way. So in those cases, now on the other side, you got men who really don't want to deal with their children at all. You know what I mean? And that's a problem too on the men's side. But if I had to pick one, I would say the women, because in a lot of cases, the women would be considered the only parent because they had the children, they got control of the children. Now, it's pretty much on the man to say, okay, I want to deal with this. Like I do want to have this conversation with this woman and try to co-parent with him. All right. Now, if he's trying, then yeah, that's a problem. Then that's the woman's fault. But if he's not trying, then I mean, what is a woman to do? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You got to handle it on your own. So that was just a bad example, man. Like again, bad representations on both sides. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying hold people accountable. Like, no woman should agree with this shit that she was saying. No woman. And all I'm saying
no
is this,
basis for anything. Yeah.
nothing, man. So I mean, you should call that out. And women should be like, yo, you need to. This is
Elaborate.
this is a shut the fuck up moment. Okay, just shut up, man, because it's women like you that make it bad for the rest of us. So men are all out here looking at all of us, all the women, like, hey, this is all y'all think.
Hell
You know what
no.
I mean? So what I'm saying to the women is you got to be careful about agreeing with women like this.
Right.
Because we're gonna look at you and be like, okay, so you riding with that shit. Okay, like, you know what I mean? So that's all I got for that, man.
Okay, what you got, Boogie?
It's a heavy subject, and I agree that video was worthless in terms of giving any examples. But if I had to say who causes a lot of problems, it's both. But it sometimes is more with women only because they typically have custody over the men. So they have more opportunity for them to be to cause something to be difficult or unfair, because by default, even in their minds, they're like, "This is my baby," and they tell you that when that baby's born.
Right.
Yeah, you're the daddy, but I'll be damned. This is my baby. And they feel like they're gonna be the end all be all final decision maker once y'all split. And that sometimes does not play out that way, where yeah, just fairness. The fairness is just not there. An example would be if you've had a child with a woman and you're no longer together, and then y'all go on and you're trying to co-parent, but you have a disagreement on whether it be who the child is around or whoever else you may expose them to during your time, they'll be quick to let you know, like, hey, if I want your child to see that I got different niggas sleeping over and coming in and out of the revolving door, you don't got shit to say about it.
Right.
And that's one that happens when the kids are little, more or less. Sometimes if they go on, a lot of women don't always carry that in a scenario that's always in the best interest of the child. We have a situation where if you don't have the child all the time, it is unfair because you got all this free time and you only got to parse out that time to be a parent for your every other weekend. And then you could just be running hoes through the streets with you, whatever, doing whatever the fuck you want all the rest of the time. So I get it to an extent because it's like, well, damn, I'm always in caregiver mode. I'm always in mommy mode. And now I have this window of opportunity and I want to take advantage of it, even though it might not be the best time. You don't even know if this dude's going to be around like that, but you got him around your kids real quick. So that's the first one that I personally have experience with, where you have a discrepancy over somewhere. It's like, yo, they shouldn't have met 7 motherfuckers in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But you are supposed to not have nothing to say because you don't pay no bills over here, and this is my house, and I can do whatever I want with your fucking kid. Shut the fuck up. Right. That's what men deal with.
Yeah, facts.
I'll say, like, I know, like, with me growing up, my mom was a single mom. She was never like that. Like, if she was dating somebody, I ain't never seen him.
And same with me.
Unless they were like, unless she knew, okay, this is something serious. I know that I can bring him home, and and that's how I am. I don't bring nobody home unless I know it's serious. I'm not about to just have people in and out my house. So my mom I grew up with, unless it's serious, and my mom probably had a couple boyfriends. I only met about 2 of them. Yeah. And they were around for at least a year or so until it died off. So, but then I know as far as my mom trying to co-parent with my real father when I was little, it would be a thing of irritation for her because she tried to be the one to say, hey, when are you coming to pick your daughter up or whatever? And it was always, oh, I'm coming at such and such time. Okay, 3:00 get here, you still no show. 5:00 get here, you still no show. 7:00 get here, you still no show. I thought we were supposed to be going to the movies. I thought you was picking your daughter up to go take her shopping. I thought you was going to go take her to see her cousins, whatever. And as time went on, I could tell that I was even as a child getting irritated once I started to understand what was going on, because it's like, okay, do you not want to see me? Do you not want to pick me up? This is like you got fair chance of my mom is trying to be of that healthy co-parenting. Granted, y'all hate each other's guts and don't get along. She's still not stopping you from seeing your child. Granted, you were domestically abusive or whatever. She's not going to allow whatever y'all went through to pertain to our relationship. She still wants you to see me. It still wants you to, but then when it's time to do that, you bullshitting. And even as a child, for me, it's like that gets irritating for me, especially as you get older, because it's like, damn, do my dad not want to be around me? Like, what the fuck? Now I'm looking at you crazy how my mom was looking at you.
It's different. From the kid's standpoint, it's hard to judge it. I don't want to be around her. It don't have nothing to do with you a lot of the times. A lot of times there's nothing to do with a child. I don't feel like
I'm just saying, like, based off of like when I was little, thinking about that.
I understand what you're saying, but from the kid's perspective, you don't know the dynamic that they're working with. You can't know the full dynamic as the kid. You can only know the dynamic if you in it.
Right.
And my son doesn't know, well, he knows, but he doesn't know the extent of how things were between me and his mom. He has a good idea. He has a good idea, but he doesn't know the extent of it.
There's no way.
I get that, but
every single.
I'm not gonna know everything,
Yeah.
but I feel like for me, don't even if you don't, like, it would be times like my people's that it was just to the point where they didn't even want to come to each other's house. We gonna have a meeting spot. We gonna go to the 7-Eleven on the corner. Her bags is packed. We can swap cars.
That's cool.
And at one point it was cool, but then it was like it stopped. And it's like, well, why? Everything was working out so perfectly. Again, that could be the dynamic of me being young. I didn't know what was going on. They could have got into an argument. I wasn't around for it. So now it's whatever. But I do feel like that's a thing where y'all got to grow up, because now me as the child, I'm suffering for it, because again, I'm expecting to get picked up, and Daddy, you said we was gonna go to the movies and we was gonna go see this
But
and we
when
was
it
gonna go
gets
do
to
that.
when it gets to that point, I feel like that's where it goes with being emotionally mature. Like, I don't understand how you can be in a relationship with someone that long till you get to a point where you can't stand them like you're just angry all the time. I feel when you get into these relationships, certain stuff, if you was emotionally mature, the conversation you could have said you want to be with somebody, like the cheating and the lying and the infidelity. That's what makes women bitter like that. I'm not excusing the behavior, by the way. So I'm not excusing that behavior, but sometimes the way the relationship ends, there's no grace period and it's no excuse, but there's no grace period for the person to like get over the relationship. Y'all going straight into co-parenting. So like, what if the dude was beating on her? What if he did cheat on her with her cousin? You know, do you want me to just go ahead and co-parent? Like, there's no transition. I'm not excusing the behavior, but
I
they're
can't
like,
tell because you never say the woman's side of shit. What if she was cheating?
so,
What if she was doing
but
some
I never
bullshit?
said whether a male or a female was cheating. I do.
Oh
First of
man, yeah,
all,
you did.
let me
Yeah,
address.
you did.
Let me address that. First of all, let me just be real. I've never heard y'all be accountable for another man at all. I've never heard y'all. Matter of fact, during the beginning, y'all said y'all do
And vice
not.
versa.
No,
I
but
ain't
so
never heard
don't.
you go against a
Right.
woman,
Yes,
man.
I have.
I
I
just
said
No,
in
said
the
that it's
never,
beginning.
both.
never. Not
I
as
just
long as
said
you've been
in the
doing this
beginning.
show.
Yes, I
Not
did.
one
I said
time.
in the beginning. I did, Calvino. I said in the beginning that I don't believe in what she said. And I said that she didn't give it. I agree with all. Matter of fact, I did it, Amanda did it, Nat did it, and Shanta did it. We all said we don't agree with that lady. You need to rewatch it. I did say I don't agree. I was, I think, the first one that said it. I do not agree with what she said. And I'm not doing it. And yes, women do cheat too. I said there's no grace period for when that, and I love how when we have disagreements, we don't call each other out each name, like those comments. Okay. So I love like the
You
comments
stay on the
those
comments.
men
I
are
haven't
in.
read the comments in
No,
a
but I know
while.
you need to. Those men in the comments, I grabbed the opportunity. Those men in the comments are emotionally immature. And I
Oh
love
my
that when we're
God.
on this,
I gotta read these comments
you
because you be
do.
on them shits.
No, Calvino, I did say that I do not agree with that girl. I don't agree with her. And I agree she did not give examples. But I love how you try to check me, but I do not agree with her.
All right,
Before the
son, what you got?
Okay. All right. So okay. So what? A man might have cheated, right? But what about even before that? What about you having a child with somebody you didn't mean to have one with in the beginning? What about that? Okay, because that caused some tension. You know, if we just messing around and you just happen to get pregnant and neither one of us planned it, what about that? That could cause some tension too, all right, between the both of you. So
Well,
I might just
knew the outcome when y'all laid down. I'm just
Thank
saying.
you.
no, but
Thank you,
before
Nat.
Just
before me
saying,
holding myself accountable,
Exactly.
we're talking about what may cause the tension in the
What?
first place. Okay,
if you
but
knew
even
you ain't want to have a baby, wrap it up, or maybe your pullout game need to be a
Amen.
tad bit
Or maybe I need to
stronger.
get her to go get some birth control, man.
well,
What
yeah,
you
what
talking
about you
about?
Or
getting
maybe
birth
y'all
control?
need
Rather,
to get
We
rather
snipped.
we
kill
can
it.
do that
Maybe
too. You
y'all
gotta
need to get
ask. Did you
snipped.
ask her if she was on birth
Thank
control, or
you.
was you only
I
thinking with your
always had him
pee
on
when
birth
you was
control,
trying to
sir.
get it
Dumbass.
in right in there and all of that?
Calvino!
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
well,
All right,
but
well,
you're
check
missing,
it, check it.
you're missing the
Go,
point though.
go
The
ahead, go
point
ahead.
is
So
what would make co-parenting hard.
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay,
The lack of
I'm not
emotional
talking. I'm
awareness.
only talking about a situation that will make co-parenting hard.
And
Is
what you
having a
said,
child.
yes, having a child with somebody that you don't know and y'all were just having casual sex, maybe a one night stand, that does create a problem
That
because
would create
when
a
you have
problem.
a baby,
Yes.
another whole life, you got to deal with this man you don't even know for 18 years.
But
So that would create
I mean, maturity is
I
the
feel like at the
overall
same
blanket
time,
for all of this.
but I feel like at the
Facts.
same time though, like a one night, like come on, you know what it is if you gonna have a one night stand. We not kids here. Like at the end of the day, you know what it is. You don't know this person, or you think they crazy or whatever. Why even put yourself in that predicament?
Okay,
letting
wait a
I'm just
minute.
happen.
But
saying.
do
Going
you
after he's
agree? Do
saying,
you
letting
agree that it
happen. That
causes?
shit
Yeah,
happens.
but I
Would you
understand
agree?
what he's saying now, because if you think about it, if I'm telling you that I had a whole issue with a man that I knew, and we hitting heads. Imagine going out here having a whole baby with a man you don't know.
You don't
And
know.
then some people beliefs is they don't believe in abortion. So you got two strangers trying to get to know each other in a short amount of time to raise a child. That's a huge.
Well, then I feel like you need to have some type of discipline on your temptation, because it's at the end of the day,
you need to have some babies first. I think
that,
you
but
out,
see,
I think you out of your depth
but
with
see,
this.
I feel like with the mindset and the fact that I'm speaking is probably why I don't have them right now. Because I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like I move a little more cautiously than that. I like to see people at all four seasons, and I'm more careful.
But
And I'm not saying I get what y'all
yeah.
are saying. I'm not saying
But
that, but what I'm
sometimes
saying
you
is
can-
you
you
gotta
can
have
give-
some type of discipline.
You know both of y'all
Yes,
can't
but
talk at the
sometimes,
same
but
time, right?
sometimes, but not what we're
You
saying
know that,
is,
right?
Nah, sometimes, but I know because now is, I only was cutting you off now because sometimes it's easy for people that haven't been through it to give advice, when it comes to it, and you
Right.
haven't been through it, and you never know what you will and will not do until you in it.
Right. Never
So
say never.
that's what
I'm not
Calvino.
gonna,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna say never. But I do feel like there's a such thing as trying to be a little more cautious based off of things that you see from other people's experience.
But I don't even think I don't think cautiousness matters. I only got
Amanda,
one
I
daughter.
agree.
She's 13. I had her with who was my husband at the time.
Right.
I knew him. He was my husband. And our co-parent was the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even I had friends that were, and Grab, because we were doing the other show at that time, like,
Right.
it was a disaster. And I knew him. And sometimes I think the people that we know the most.
That's what I was about to say, Amanda.
Are the people that are the most difficult, because that's not, I could not have foreseen how we acted, how we treated each other, how we acted towards each other. And the more the exchange happened, it wasn't even about loving him, not loving him, being jealous, it wasn't none of that. It was just like, who the hell are you?
Thank
like,
you. That's why I don't like
Amanda said it the best, because that's what I was trying to tell now. You could be with somebody for 10 years and you put a baby in the equation and you be like, that's not even the person I thought I was.
Thank you.
You're not even mad. You're not mad about the baby. You're not mad about the relationship. You like, what the hell is going on? Who are you? What is going on?
Thank you. And that's why I said you got to be careful when you start trying to be judgmental about it, because the person that you married is not the person that you divorced. That person is not the same. Sometimes I'd be like, who are you and what are you talking about? Like, what is that thing when you literally find yourself calling that mug beep 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 beep, because it's just like, who are you? So that's why I was saying, some was saying that it's sometimes, what if you find yourself in a situation where you didn't, and the first thing is, it shouldn't be, well, you should have thought about that before you lay down. That person that you married. Yeah, it's too late.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter, because whoever that be, at every point in our life, everything we do, every experience we have changes us to some degree. Every person, every day, everything.
For sure.
So every time something happens, you become someone new. From today to tomorrow.
I agree.
All right, so listen, with that being said, I got a question for the fellas, and then I'm gonna bring it to the ladies. Why do some men seem to disappear when the relationship ends but won't access later on? That's to the fellas. Why do some men seem to disappear when the relationships ends with being a parent but want more access later on?
I'm not going first this time.
But what you said, but want access, like access
when the kid's older, when they stay older,
but
they older and the hard work is done.
When the relationship ends, they disappear.
Yeah.
When they divorce the wife, they divorce their kids.
Yeah.
And then they come back later on.
Okay, so guys first, in life. Okay, guys.
Yeah, guys. This on the guys first, and then I got one for the ladies. What's good?
Okay, because I can say, children are mad impressionable. And like, if you got them with the mother all the time, they pretty much gonna go where the mother goes. So sometimes men who are not in their child's life enough find it hard to connect sometimes. You know what I mean? And then when we talking about maturity, sometimes when the child gets mature enough to be able to listen to me, then it's sometimes it's easier to connect with them on a different level. Like
and explain why you weren't there to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. Now, sometimes why I wasn't there isn't in any of the child's business, though.
Oh,
You know what I'm
why?
saying? Because
And the only
that
reason I asked that, I'm not going to cut you
I'm
off, but the
telling you
only reason I
because
asked that is
I'm
because I
going to
just
tell
feel
you
like
now.
family
I'm going to tell you.
secrets.
I'm going to tell you because what child can understand what was going on in a grown-up's relationship? You know what I mean? If I take that stance, or I want them to understand, and I can apologize for not being there, but I'm not gonna think that they're gonna understand the relationship that me and the mother had. I'm not gonna put that on them to understand that, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna say something wrong about his or her mother. That's going to draw a deeper wedge in between us in a lot of cases, because no child has been with their mother that long gonna let you badmouth the mom. So
would you feel like it's more so better of having an understanding of your side versus the relationship?
my side is I'm here now. Okay, I'm getting ready to try to correct this mistake that I made. I'm here now. Let's deal with that. Now, what's going on between me and you? Me and your mother, that was our business. Like, I don't expect you to understand that.
Okay. All right, Boogie, what you got?
Your question again is, why do they not want to be involved when they're younger, but then they want access to the child
when they're older?
Older. So they voluntarily had access, but they just wasn't dealing with the kid?
Yep, they completely.
I mean, I can't speak for. I can never speak for sucker ass.
I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. Muted.
Oh, and the way you asked the question, sorry.
Yeah.
The way you asked the question, I think, is like a little because you just said when they leave in comparison to later on.
Yes.
But we didn't clarify whether or not this
they had
child
access.
is young or old.
Right. I did. Yeah.
Right.
Because you could have broke up when the kid was 13.
Yeah, true indeed. True indeed. So let's just say the kid is 5 years old.
Okay. I can't.
Why do some men choose to disappear when the relationship ends and want access to the kid later on?
I really can't answer that. I can tell you what I've been through though, because I have a child who is an adult now, and there was times in her earlier years where her mom moved away. Her mom moved her away, so it created a physical distance with me and work where I was not able to get to her in the same way. Now I was anchored here in Hampton Roads, so I was just like, hey, I'm never going to create the distance. Now you've created a distance, and I'm doing the best I can. I know that I could say that was a scenario where you only get all summer, alternating holidays, because they're like, 7-8 hours away. That's what I can personally speak to. But if the child is in close proximity to you and you don't get them, you're an idiot, because there's laws. You can go and get legal visitation. You can go secure your rights. You can set it up so that there has to be a time made available for you to see that child. Unless you've lost your parental rights, you need to go secure them. So I can say that I advise any man to not just have a verbal agreement. Just go get your visitation in writing. There's nothing to negotiate. There's nothing to talk about. This is what it is. It's a fucking court order.
Yeah. Okay. I get you on that. Bino, what you got?
All right. I'm just gonna speak hypothetically because my situation is kind of reversed, but I think a lot of times dudes don't want to be around the kid anymore because they can't have the woman. I mean, I think a lot of times
that's what it is. Go ahead.
He can't be with her, and he don't want to. He want to punish her. Basically, it's not really punishing her, but he thinks it's punishing her since he won't see the kid. I'm gonna show you. I don't need none of y'all. And then he goes off and does his thing. Then next thing you know, his kids. You said started at 5. Okay, so you leave at 5. You're like, I show her. I'm bitter, like all the guys in the comments, the bitter dudes in the comments, and then you come back when they're 16 because you seen them grow up, and you're like, damn, I missed all that shit. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I know my father was like that. You know what I'm saying? Me and my father, shit. I didn't get a Christmas gift from my dad till I was 38 years old. Okay. So my father wasn't around during he pop in every once in a while, but he had his whole situation I will not put, out in the atmosphere.
Right.
But he pop in and out, you know what I'm saying? From the time I was a little kid till I was an adult. But we didn't really lock in until I was I was in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? I already had a kid by the time me and my dad, and by the time he died, that was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So, and he always thanked me. He's like, man, I appreciate that you didn't hold it against me, that I wasn't there for you when you were a kid. And as I told him, I think the only thing that kept me from being upset with him is that I was raised well. If I would have been starving, I'd be like, where this motherfucker at? How come he ain't fucking helping me out? But being that I had proper upkeep and raising, I never really got to notice it and feel upset about it.
Okay. No, okay. I get it, ladies.
Yeah. One thing, I just want to add one thing to the end of my story too. Like, it was a turnaround, and I was more closer to her later on, but not because I still didn't leave the location. Her mama was like, all my genes started popping out in her.
Right.
And she couldn't handle her no more. And she sent her to me with a week's notice.
Yeah.
And then I took care of
your turn.
Right. She was like, no, you're taking her now. Because, right. And I was able to do that, thank God. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know no guys like that. Like, I'm not saying they don't exist, but none of my friends have just outright abandoned their child. Like
some fucked up shit.
I don't know no guys like that. I wouldn't be able to be cool with a guy like that because they'll be mad at me saying for what I'm gonna say.
Yep, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I can't let that shit ride. I'll be calling all types of pieces of shit. G, what you got?
What I got?
What you got? Yeah, G then Shanta then nah.
Machistas, insecure, selfish son of a bitches. Yes, my dad was like that. And I speak for personal experience. And everything I'm going to say now. Because he makes their life easier. Because he made his life a lot easier. Just to walk away without a care for like what we were doing, eating, how we were treated by the rest of the family, strangers out there when we needed him the most. But it makes his life easier. He didn't have to deal with any of that shit. He didn't have to come visit us, give us money, nothing. Instead, he started a new life with another person and had more kids. And that was now center and the focus of his life. Good for him. Now I got to say, I don't have daddy issues. I love my dad. We are best friends. We can talk about everything, but I will never forget that. And sometimes, in cases like that, when this man chooses to disappear from the kid's life, it's because it's our fault. We push them away. We make it all personal because we become very immature bitches. And men can do that too. It's like one of you guys were saying, is because, you're not with a mom, you divorce her and you divorce your kids. Immature, selfish, and stupid. You know what? And I have seen cases where women, get to raise their kids to love their dads, to respect them, call them daddy, and sometimes when they get older, they start asking questions. Why? Why is my dad like this? Why my dad doesn't do enough for me? And, you just got to say, we don't know.
Yeah.
But, all we got to say is like, I'm sorry. If I knew better, I would have chosen somebody else to be your daddy. But it's too late now. So you got to deal with what you got to deal with. But most of the time it's because they're very insecure. They're very mature. And it's all about them. And like my daddy did, they just rather walk away and start a new life with somebody else. And then later on, they show up wanting to be dad. Then they go, after all the hard work was done, after all these kids, are older and have to deal with a lot of shit in their life without a dad. Now you want to come back and, I guess, it's as a Christians, you just gotta, understand them and forgive them and move on. You know, I'm grateful today. I'm older. I understand why certain things happen and why my dad wasn't around a lot. But the good thing is just now he's back.
Right.
And I have to learn how to, it took a long time. It took a long time.
I
And
get it.
I'm grateful for it. You know, I'm glad he's part of my life.
Right.
But
I get it.
I
I
would
get it.
never forget either.
I
Real
can.
quick now,
So,
before you jump in,
yeah.
CP, what you got? And then you muted,
Okay.
boss.
So I agree with G.
Going off.
I had my dad in my life all my entire life. My dad was a there. I don't know, he wasn't he was a active father as it relates to a provider. But my mother raised us and did everything with us. So I am now, and like I said, my dad been in my life. My mom and daddy was married for 40-something years. But my daddy is building a relationship with us now because my mother's not here. So I'm now getting the father that I wanted when I was younger. However, he's a damn good grandfather to my kids than a father. So what I learned is that money is not everything. Like my son's father, when he got it, I got it. If he don't, but actually being active and doing things with your child sometimes is more than the money piece. And because I had the money all my life, I never wanted for anything. My dad, as long as we was in school, I was in school, I can do whatever I want, run the streets or whatever. But I didn't have that father that gave me attention. So now I'm getting that father that gives me all the attention, but I had to lose my mom to get the father that I wanted my entire life. Because now I only have one parent, so he tries to parent us a lot. So every situation is different. Women can be the issue, men could be the issue. It goes both ways. It's all the cards that you're dealt in life, and you just got to move forward and just make it better. Every lesson is a lesson learned either way, if it's a bad or good.
Okay. Nay, Amanda, what y'all got?
Oh, Bino, hush.
Well, I
Yeah.
I personally, I think that they step out. I can't speak for a dude. I get attacked, but I just feel like sometimes they don't want to deal with. They find it easier. All the hard work is over, so now they want a buddy. You know, they want to buddy up and they want to go have a drink with somebody. But I feel like sometimes instead of kids looking at it like like it's half full, look at it as if they weren't equipped to do whatever it is. You did not, if you lack, go be better if you do to have children. I don't concentrate on what I don't have, I concentrate on what I do have. So sometimes people are just not mature enough or ready to be a father. They don't know how to. And then again, like somebody said, it could be just paying the mom back, like I'm not gonna be there just because you want me to, and they don't care. But a lot of times it's because they don't want to be a parent. They want to run the streets, they want to do whatever it is that they want to do. And then when the hard work is over, they want to come back in and try to act like, okay, which I'm shocked that a lot of kids tolerate that, but I just be minding my business.
Well, I get that.
That's all I got.
No, I get that. Man, what you got?
Oh yes. I'm trying, y'all.
I feel you.
Yeah, because I don't really want to. I'm trying to be like.
I get it. Just say it.
I just feel like when things first happen, it's so fresh that people are easily emotionally dysregulated by that person. Yep. Like just in general, like I don't like you right now. If we just broke up or just split up, there's still a lot of other things that have to be worked out.
That's what I said.
Logistics of children gets difficult. I, of course, in the beginning, being in my position and my education and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, I want to be the co-parent. I want to talk things through. I want to make sure we're doing the best for our daughter. And yeah, you're right. Like, because
everybody has that ideology until you actually mix it up with
until you do it. Because and if I'm being real, if I'm keeping it 100, I felt like in the beginning, maybe it was like kind of going okay. And then
Right.
as soon as you get other people involved or you're in a
Yep.
relationship, he's in a relationship, now you got a third party chiming in, oh,
Yep.
you need to do this, you need to do that. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And now you mad because you feel like you got this, and it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point you got to make a choice. Like, you either going to keep trying to tug on this shit and keep trying to go back and forth, and somebody got to be the bigger person, or just shut the hell up and eat it, and then you just get, like, I've gotten to the point where you do what you do over there, I do what I do over here.
Yep.
Okay.
And
That's where it gets to.
we
Yep.
would cross our fingers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
True.
you know, like, and I actually said this to him recent, and we don't speak on the phone, we don't nothing, we text, that's it. That's the
Yep.
majority of our conversation.
Mine is email. I love it.
So I mean, and I've clearly
Email.
said
Mark
via
Dixon,
text,
carrier
like, what you
pigeon.
do at your house is your business,
Right.
and you have your rules. I can't regulate what you got going on in your house. You can't regulate what I got going on in my house.
But if
All
people would mind their business, you know,
Yeah,
it probably
and I
would have
just
been
have
better.
to trust that, like, the baseline of it is my daughter is his daughter, right? When she's with you, I hope and I pray and I have to believe that you're going to make the best and safest choice for her.
True.
And I hope that you do the same over here. Like, all you got to do is look at me and say, like, you ain't got no choice because she's here. Because if we're going back and forth and I'm basing my opinion on what you're doing and how you're doing it, I don't live in your house. All you're going to end up doing is lying about it anyway.
Question, Amanda, question. So I agree with everything you said. There's just another variable, if you will, which is the child voicing to one of the parents that they have an issue.
Oh, had it happened already.
What's going on? So you, as a father, because I can only speak from that standpoint, you may have your daughter come to you and say, "Mommy's boyfriend XYZ."
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be your child come back home to the mom and say, "Daddy's girlfriend XYZ." You know, so
that's
what
hard.
it is hard, and for the men, it's just a little bit harder because we're not in control of the custody piece, so we don't have as much leverage when you're talking about time.
Mm-hmm.
They're with the mother the majority of the
other
time.
thing. I didn't, in the beginning with my personal situation, and I would suggest this for pretty much anybody, like, split it 50-50. You go there once.
You can try to do that if it's feasible for school.
Yeah.
Sometimes
no, you're right.
It's not feasible for school if y'all don't live in the same school district
Mm-hmm.
to split 50-50 down the middle. It's unrealistic.
I live for, and this was for my daughter. I live 4 minutes from the ex-husband.
Right. But
literally,
that's not the norm.
No, that's not the norm. You're right. And you have to, and I think, and that's why I said, like, in the beginning, it's hard because emotions are high. You don't really want to have to talk and go
That's
through
what
a
I
lot of
said.
nonsense.
Yep.
But some things you just have to be, like, he moved. I bought my house 4 minutes from him for her because I knew we were going to be going back and forth eventually. I knew she was going to be going to see him. I knew I was going to have to. And at the end of the day, I think if people were more realistic about that, they would make better choices. Because the reality is, if that's her dad, I'm going to have to, if he gets a wild hair up his ass, even if he's never seen her, and decides he wants to go to court and ask for any kind of visitation, logistically, somebody got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I got a question, Amanda. So was he a better, because some people aren't, like Shanta said, and in my situation, he was a provider, not a father. So in that situation, you felt a little better to move closer because he was a good father? He was involved? You felt like he was a good father? No?
I never thought he was a good father.
Was it just for your daughter?
That wasn't even a factor.
Oh, okay.
You was just trying to do the
You
right
do the
thing.
right thing for your
I
kid.
was just
That's
trying to
what's
do. I
up.
was
Good
just trying to do
job.
right by
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I never
How you
thought
doing?
he was a good, and I can't
Father.
even say good or bad because I didn't see him parent. To be honest, with you.
Okay. Okay.
when
I was
I
just
had,
wondering, like, your intent.
yeah,
That's
nah,
good.
when I
That's
had
good.
her, my daughter had, like, she was born early. She had developmental delays, so she was a baby. I
Mhm.
was breastfeeding. She had therapy, so I was always with her. And that wasn't a choice of like him being in or out. It was just like, it was me. I was the mom. That was
Just
just
kicking
what,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just kicks in and that's just what you do. We
Yeah.
separated when she was very small. So she was like 3 probably or something, 3 or 4. So I was still the primary parent in the beginning. It wasn't until she was like probably in school that we started splitting half and half. But it was just like, it was just easier for me to be in close proximity for her because
Mhm.
I knew that eventually that was going to come, even if it was weekends or whatever. I didn't want it to be a situation where I had to like travel states away or whatever, because eventually, even if it's just for her or if he asked or if we went to court or whatever, it was going to be that she was going to have to see him. And I didn't want to be in a position to have to navigate because it was already a headache with nothing.
Right.
Just knowing that he was there and it was going to have to be an argument eventually.
So question off something you just said. Is it the emotional, and this is for you and the rest of the ladies on the panel, is it the emotional hurt that's stopping women from co-parenting peacefully?
I think the emotional hurt challenge is a challenge for everybody.
For both of them. I think
And
it's
I don't think, it may not, like I said earlier, I don't necessarily always think it has to do with, because I think a lot of people break up before they even broke up.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like,
Yeah, that's facts.
it's over. By the time it's over, you like, whatever, I don't even care.
We already been over.
Most people done checked out.
But
Most
it's
people done
the
checked
stuff that happens following that. It's the stuff that happens in the navigating, the co-parenting, pick up, drop off, the difficulty, the nonsense, the, hey, I'm gonna drop him off at 10 o'clock. Nah, I got something to do at 9:30.
Yeah.
Well, then you could come. Then you could come get him. No, I'm not coming to get him. You gotta drop him off. That's so stupid. Like, come on.
So I don't, I don't
just-
believe that it's emotional though with the women. I think that it's just, to me, William, I only can speak to my situation. It's just the whole point of the emotional in my situation with the man. I don't like using my kids as a pawn. I don't like, he calls my oldest son and talks shit about me, you know, and I'm like, who, what? I've not called anyone in his family. So it's not the emotionally, I was done, like Amanda said, a few years back before, you know, I could be done. And I just think that it's just emotionally immature on his part. He calls my oldest son, talks about me, but then it's on my oldest son, because why are you tolerating that type of dialogue? And then he calls people on my side of the family to talk about me and that's what it makes it worse. So on me, when I'm done with somebody, I don't go backwards, you know. So it's not on my part. And if my son says, "Mom, I'm good," then that's the way it is. You know, he did so much. Sometimes it's so much that's done before you're done that it makes it hard to co-parent, because the kids, you know, like certain things they can't unsee, or they might not like the way that the dad treated them. And then if you're not a parent and you're only a provider, they don't have nothing to go off of. Like, well, I want to be with my dad because he was a good dad. He's only seeing you as being this disruption, you know. So that's kind of a play in it too. It's not just emotional. I know they say that women are emotional, but women are naturally protective over their cub. So it can be difficult. It can be difficult.
Okay. CPG, what y'all got? What's your answer to that question? You muted, Shop.
My baby daddy was calling.
I be trying to listen to what my son say, because let me tell you, when y'all dealing with autistic kids, they say whatever.
Yep.
And you got to watch what they say, and you got to be careful what you say around them, because
they don't say it.
doctor's appointment the other day, and then we're gonna
They
go
don't
back.
have a filter.
No filter. And he told he said, his daddy said, "How do I look?" After I told Kanan, watch your mouth. And he said, "Nah, I want my son to express himself." So he said, "Kanan, how do I look?" He said, "Like an old deadbeat."
This guy here.
Gotta love him.
Hey.
Yep.
You gotta be careful what you say right, church.
I'm telling you, boss. What's
I'm
your
gonna
answer
let
to
G
the
go.
question? All right, G, what you got?
No, I'm just saying it could be emotional. Is it both sides?
Yeah.
It could
Both
be
sides
the
emotional.
it could be the woman, it could be the man. Yeah, it's both sides. Emotions.
Okay.
Emotions.
All right, fellas. Who want to rock out first?
All right, so I don't know if it's emotional hurt or not.
Yeah.
I know I can say that on both sides, you might do things unintentionally. Like you're not maybe necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm trying to be a bad mom, or I'm trying to be a bad dad, or I'm gonna be a contrarian and not agree to cause problems. It's just like what is like, you have triggers from out of a relationship probably. So more than likely you've created these patterns. So those patterns didn't just break because y'all broke up.
Right.
That same pattern of communication or poor communication or whatever all the reasons were that brought y'all to breaking up
Or
are
lack
going
thereof.
are going to spill over into
Right.
how you wind up parenting, which is why you get to the point of just being like, I'm just texting your ass, or I'm just emailing your ass, because I know this will never change.
Yep.
So you get into this, you become indifferent to it and you accept it. And you say, hey, one day this person will be an adult and they can have their relationship with me minus the mediator. You know, you're gonna, like, the best thing that I ever heard was when Armani, like within the last year or so, Joe, she was like, yo, you didn't do nothing wrong.
Truth always comes out.
And that was all the fucking confirmation I needed. It don't matter what her mama said about me at that point.
Right. Truth always comes out. Facts. Son, what you got?
Just based off listening to, well, mostly Nay. Okay. I think it's the women. Emotional hurt. So I hear a lot of, if men cheat and men do this and men do that. But this goes back to a show we did before where I was saying that I don't know a lot of men that just leave their families. I'm talking about if you're in a real relationship, yeah. But you know, a minute ago I was talking about just having like a one night stand or dealing with somebody you really don't rock with like that, and you just had a baby. But in a real relationship, I would have to go with the women. Emotional hurt, because I don't know a lot of dudes that's just leaving their families like that, whether they cheating or not. You know what I mean? We don't do that type of stuff to destroy our families. We just do it because we men, and that's what the heck we do. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a lot of emotional hurt on the women's side. And you know, we do that shit to y'all. I mean, we horrible, man. I mean, let's admit it. Like, we do some horrible shit. So yeah, I mean,
I want to add one thing. I'm sorry, son. It depends too, and this is not, I can't speak to this directly, but from what I've observed, it gets worse it depends on who does better first.
Right.
It depends on who gets happy first.
True.
Usually the motherfucker that does better and gets happy first, the other one is not gonna like
he or
that
she
shit.
gonna catch everything. Yep.
Right.
That's more emotional pain,
and
right?
Men do it and women do it.
Yep, they both do it.
That's how I can't say that in my situation. I don't care. He's already remarried. Good luck, bitch. That's all I got.
I don't mean married. I don't mean married.
I'm just saying whoever do. I don't care if he don't. I'm just saying, speaking for me, on my behalf on that, it might appear like he's doing better. It might appear that he's doing. I don't care.
Okay,
I
I don't want
don't
to
care.
personalize it. I'm just
I
saying,
know, but I
generally
just
speaking. No, I'm not trying to stop you.
Nay,
no.
we
I'm
know
I'm
you
just
trying
don't
to cut
care.
you off. It's totally
shut up,
fine that you said
Calvino.
that.
We know you don't care.
Calvino,
It's
I just
to-
don't say it.
Nay, I'm talking to you directly. It's totally
That
fine
every
that you
time,
jumped in
what?
and said whatever you said, but let me finish my thought, please, and then jump back in again. There's when I say that it looks like they just it based on who does better. I'm
Who
talking.
moved on?
It's not just because they move. It's not because they got married or whatever. Sometimes it's they're making more money. They
Right.
done lost some weight. They
Right.
look like their shit is popping. It don't
Right.
even got nothing to do with it, whether or not you're in another relationship. You just seem fucking happy.
Right. That's it.
But
And that's the one
you
who
know,
typically gets the hate, especially if it's the man in a situation where like you look like you just got too much free time. You look like you're doing a little too good financially. Maybe we need to revisit this child support number. What you got? He pulled up in a new whip.
Well,
And
we need to revisit
he asked
this.
me to
Fuck
change
it,
his visitation time because he going to Jamaica. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait
Wait.
a fucking minute.
And I
Y'all
can't
can
go nowhere after he
happen.
got all that free time. You
Thank you.
right.
Y'all can
That shit
personalize it all.
it's gonna be us
Y'all-
anyway because
Y'all gonna personalize it
You
all
don't
the
got the
time, but as
kids.
soon
Wait.
y'all
look, we don't
personalize
have the
it.
making
kids,
that-
we don't have no
Nay, I'm
responsibility,
making
man.
this
So
up. I'm
I
telling you,
know, but
just
you
did it.
personalized it and shared it. And then everybody shared it all the time. As soon as I personalize it, we're not talking about you, Sinead. You always
No.
like,
I said
yes.
thank you
So-
for jumping in. Let me finish my thought. Now go ahead and run.
right. No, you did say that before. And you
I
jump
did.
in too.
I did.
You jumped. Y'all love to stop
my
pointing out what we
God.
You know
all
what?
do.
I was trying not to shoot at you,
Anywho.
but now I'm shooting at you because you just
I don't
being
care.
argumentative
And I
for
got my
no
armor on,
reason.
so I feel I got my armor on, so I feel absolutely nothing.
But you sounded bitter. You was like you jumped out of the window.
I sounded bitter.
He got married.
No, I
and it
said
might
that
look better
because
from the outside.
you love to
jumped
point
out
out.
the window with that.
I'm telling you, you love to point out what you do. Hypocrisy. So,
You love to go on a tangent.
Hypocrisy.
You jumped out the window. Now the
Hypocrisy.
show gonna go off the rails because you
It's
can't
not
fucking out
it's
talk
going
me.
off the rails.
So
It's going off the rails
now I
because you're
don't care.
still railing. Okay.
I mean,
So
yo,
now I don't care.
Boogie, what you were saying though,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I
he
agree
got-
with that
So,
too.
anyways,
He
like
got
I was
remarried,
saying,
Nay.
I'm saying that that's not true in my situation. I personally do not care how well he's doing. It's not benefiting me. I don't care personally what he is doing if he did. So I agree. If he never emails me another day in my life, it would be a happy day for me. That's not bitter. I'm saying, matter of fact,
Okay,
a lot of
okay.
times it's not bitter.
I said okay. You right.
But you, every time I
You
speak
trying to
up,
convince
every
yourself.
time that no, because every time it's like y'all love for it. Y'all, and this
No,
is another thing.
it's we do that
this
with
thing
you.
where
with
it's
you.
thing right, and that's why I said I got the full armor on. So it's this thing
What
where you
armor?
guys try to act like
You don't
that
need no
y'all,
armor.
and I
Nobody's
said
beating
this.
you up.
You just said shots fired. So that's why you need to just be like when you speak, just be
They're
remember
not
what
real
you say.
shots, Nate.
So,
Bullets don't
oh
actually
my
come out of
gosh,
my
then
mouth.
and then it's not real armor, babe. So you gotta
Right.
Anyway, y'all love to, like I said before, threw a comment out that I said that your experience is not my reality. Your experience with women is not my reality. So I'm speaking for
I hope not, because that means you were fucking women. I
Well,
hope
maybe
my
you don't.
experience with women is not your
So,
reality.
Anywho, so what I'm saying is that's not true. I don't care. If it doesn't benefit me, I don't care. When I'm done with somebody,
Let's count
I
how
don't
many
care.
times you cannot care this episode.
So I don't care. I don't care.
No,
I
I'm
don't
intentionally
care,
going off the
and I
rails
do
right
not
now.
care. See, that's what I'm saying. You focus so much on Shanae, sometimes that you literally try to make it seem like I literally have been quiet the majority of the time. I've been staying in my little zone. And as soon as I speak up, here you go again with the hypocrisy.
Because
you are what
no,
you say. So anywho, like I was saying, I personally do not,
don't care.
I don't
don't
yep,
care.
I
We
don't
know.
care.
You don't care.
I don't care, and I don't care. So I
Right.
don't care about
Right.
anyone that is my ex. Calvino,
Gotcha.
you just ready for things to get done with. And isn't it about that time? Like, you over your time for you to dip.
Hey,
Calvino
I
has all
don't care.
the time
I
in the
don't care
world
what
today.
you say about Calvino.
Exactly.
Just remember that
I
Calvino
don't, you don't
care
care.
neither.
You don't care. You don't care. You do
All right.
not care.
All right, with all that not caring,
Ever?
I'm about to play this second video.
The co-parents who don't get along, what is it that y'all are still fighting over? Like, y'all don't live together. Y'all's communication's at a minimum. What are y'all still fighting over? Like, what is specifically, like, not even coming from a place of superiority or anything, I'm like genuinely asking, like, what specifically is the issue in y'all's dynamic that y'all can't hash it out and try to be cordial and get over that hump for the sake of the kids and make that situation better for the kids? This isn't any kind of blame on anybody. I'm genuinely curious. What is the problem?
The problem is that sometimes they can't stay on topic. If we're talking about the kids and we're talking about A, B, C, D, like, don't bring up what I did in the relationship last year. I don't care. Are you picking up this person at one time o'clock? Well, you told me last year that I don't never come on time. What does that have to do with it? That's the problem. Is that sometimes it looks like when you're trying to handle one thing, all the other stuff starts spilling into the conversation. That's my belief. Like, not staying on topic.
Okay. All right. Amanda, son, Bino, what y'all got? Whoever.
I'll go. Because it's almost my time to go. Nay. No, I'm just and I stayed into the final comment last week. So I rebuked your statement. But anyway.
Okay, you did good that one
my
time.
belief was I picked the wrong person. It's just that simple. I picked the wrong person. We have clashing personalities. And I tell people, we only got along long enough for us to make them. That was it. So anytime we wasn't in that mode, we hated each other. So it didn't make any sense to have kids with her. But I did.
All right, cool. No, I agree with everything you said. Son,
Me too,
G, what y'all got?
I was gonna say the same thing that Matt just said. Yeah, I was. Because it took me back there earlier when I was saying, you had children with people that you ain't really trying to be with.
Yeah.
And that's when y'all start learning each other. When y'all start having a shared responsibility. And next thing you know, we just don't agree. And now,
like, what was I thinking?
Well, we knew what we was thinking. We
Yeah.
had no forethought. We knew exactly what we was thinking.
Exactly. G, what you got?
We're the same thing, We're like self-centered, selfish, immature, son of a bitch. So, like you see, we make it all about ourselves, not about the kids.
Right.
So this is why there's a lot of people out there that don't want to co-parent, because there's always gotta be those feelings in the middle of it, and you forget about what matters the most is just the children. So co-parenting, we're just stupid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, no, I get it. Shot, what you got?
I am going to let the world know that I ignored all the red flags.
Me too, Shanta. Me too.
I am co-parenting.
Flashing red.
Yes, I am. We as women, we ignore red flags. My baby is number 6. He did nothing to my son that he didn't do it the other 5. So in our situation, he wasn't the dumbass I was. And now I'm gonna be honest. And so that's what
taking accountability. You're taking accountability.
That's what it looked like, Nay.
Everything.
What you say, son? Real
I
quick.
said, son, Nay, that's what accountability look like.
Woo! Shots fired. All right, Shot. Finish.
I didn't feel nothing.
Oh boy.
I didn't feel nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't feel nothing. Because you don't hear when I'm talking anyway. So go ahead, Shanta.
All I'm gonna say is a lot of us in my situation. You listen to the man when he say the other girl or the other baby mama is lying. 9 times 10 they ain't lying. Everything they said about him is true, and you realize it when it's all said and done. So I take accountability because Yeah. So
We got
so
you.
that's where I was at with it. But after we, like I said, my baby 13 years old, we are just now getting to co-parenting. Like we both had to mature and grow up and realize that this is the only thing that we share. We don't share no feelings with each other. We don't share nothing but this child. And I'm to the age now, thank God, I don't even got to talk to him. Caden got his own phone.
And can I tell y'all, most of the time, the woman ain't crazy. What she's saying to you is not a lie. She's not bitter.
Right.
She's not mad.
Right.
And you'll find out soon enough. And I am accountable, but I guess sometimes I feel like in this batch, I got to lay down and be like, I'm flawed all the time. I didn't got time for that. Good job, Shanta.
Amanda, what you got, man?
Yeah, Amanda, what you got?
Look, what was the question?
He said, "What are you, in the video?" He says, "What are y'all really beefing about?" And y'all are split up. What are y'all really beefing about? I haven't heard nobody talk about that yet.
Not once. Not
yet. No one answered that.
No, it's beefing because you can't stay on
Joe
top.
agreed. Beat up your brother. He just said yes.
Well, to both of you guys, I did. I said we are beefing because you can't stay on top of
I
it.
did.
And Calvino did too. And
Yeah, I
Shanta
actually
did
did answer that. OG
I
Y'all
did
did.
answer that.
We did.
Listen,
The
Boogie, I
clip
love you and
said
all that.
specifics. The clip said be specific.
Specifically, we don't fucking get along. How
That's
fucking
what I,
specific
and
do you get to that?
specifically, we can't stay on
Okay,
task.
that's your answer. Specifically, y'all don't fucking get along.
And
Sounds
specifically, we
general to
can't
me.
stay on task. We can't stay on task. I gave an example. I said, if we're talking about this, I don't want to bring up what happened last year when I did not, that's your problem,
you
Nate.
did say that.
That's your, I did. Thank you.
All
That's
right.
your
But I'm
problem.
not giving you all my. I'm not giving you all my fucking specifics. So
And me and my baby daddy, we don't beef because we co-parenting them. We have nothing else to discuss but him, the child. We
Okay,
got
cool.
nothing to
There
beef
we
about.
go.
Okay, cool. All right, so everybody spoke. Man, it's on you. What you got?
You know what?
I'm gonna just answer the question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say power, distrust, and control.
Okay.
Like,
I agree with all. Elaborate.
you know,
Let's get it.
you walk away from a relationship, there are things you know about that person now that you don't have any control over. Like,
True.
I could know, like I told y'all, like I didn't think he was necessarily a great father. He was definitely a provider. I didn't know how he was gonna parent when I wasn't there, because there were things I didn't feel like he was necessarily considerate of or attentive to. But I also realized later there's only but so much control you can have, and that's where a lot of that comes from. Is like, no, I don't want my kid with you because you're gonna do this, or and that's just a lack of trust. Like, it's just trust and power and control, because when you're there, you can influence that a little bit.
Exactly.
When you're not there anymore,
you have
there, nothing. And then you have to leave it in not just that person's hands, but like I said, whoever else is in the picture, what choices are they going to make for a child that's not theirs?
Facts.
Or, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Boogie said it earlier, like, you don't know how they're treating your child. You don't know what they're saying or what they're doing and how to navigate that if it comes up. And then there's just the fear. Like, are they going to get hurt? Are they being like mind fucked? Is their head gonna be right when that shit is over or whatever? So there's so many things, but they're mostly internal things. They're not like really logistical things. The logistical shit comes from all that other stuff.
Right. Well, okay. Boogie, what you got?
I agree with what Amanda was saying, and specifically control that part of it, because as somebody who was trying their best to deal with a woman who had a different standard for what should be permissible for a teenage girl, you're gonna beef over that shit. You're gonna, and if they do not reside under your roof, you can't do shit about it. You can't set what the curfew should be. You can't necessarily look at it and be like, hey, take that off.
Yeah. True.
Hey, so there's tons of specific shit to beef about for a pops. If he's got a little girl with a mother who y'all are not agreeing on what should be permissible, you could have that same issue with your son as well. But typically, a father's gonna have even more things to beef about if he ain't agreeing with the woman on how his daughter is moving. And that is something that's worth beefing about.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So before we move to the final thoughts, is co-parenting, and this is for the whole panel, is co-parenting actually realistic, or is just something that people say that just sounds good?
It just sounds good.
It just sounds good. It's not realistic because when they're with me, they're with me. When they're with you, they're with you.
Okay. All right.
Agree that the answer is, the question was, is co-parenting? So the answer is no, I don't believe that co-parenting can be done. Thank you. That good for y'all?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It can be done, man.
It can
It
be
can be
done.
done. I just think that we just don't have enough practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We really got to work at it. Honestly, you know what I mean? You gotta want the co-parent, but it works. I think it
Mhm.
works.
Okay.
For
All right.
mature people, maybe.
Shot. G, what
I
y'all
don't
got?
think maturity got shit to
Even
do
though
with
I
it.
didn't have
Yes,
the
it
privilege
does.
to have it, I
No,
do
it don't.
believe so.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
does.
it sounds good, but it can be done. I have known people that actually do a great job at co-parenting.
And
Yeah.
it's always, oh, well, let me just say this. It can
But
be done if somebody's willing to make a huge fucking concession and say, you get your fucking way. Yeah, then there's nothing to beef about. If you're going to fucking cave, yeah. And that has nothing to do with maturity. It has to do with standing by what the fuck you believe in.
And
Mhm.
maturity.
yes.
No, you could be as mature as hell and just don't fucking agree.
No, because sometimes I can be immature. I'll be like, that ain't what you said. I mean, like, I know I could be immature. Wait, Nate was accountable? Oh my God. So yeah, sometimes I could be immature. I could sit here and I could be like,
I don't
but that
care.
ain't, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to do that. I don't care. Like when I said I don't care, like sometimes it is. You could be you can be mature and still result to being immature. Just be
Sometimes
petty.
people will think making the concession is the mature thing to do. Like, let them have it.
Right.
And that's their way of being mature. But that shit's fucking whack.
Sometimes it can come back and bite you in the end. I get
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
get it.
You shouldn't go along to fucking
Just
get along.
get
I'm
along.
not a
Yeah.
go along to get along motherfucker.
Me either.
I would have never
Me
imagined that.
either.
Shut up.
Shocking, right, Calvino?
Yeah, I would
It's
never
so
thought that.
shocking.
And then
Oh, you
I
learned
ain't
a little
going
bit
along to
about
get
Nate.
along.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Amanda, Shot, what y'all think?
I think co-parenting. I think
go ahead.
co-parenting is possible, but it's going to look different for everybody. Everybody's co-parenting is not going to fit what may fit this person or that person. So if it fits your lifestyle and
And that's why people should mind their business.
So it's just you just got to do what's best for you and your child and the other parent, and it works. If that's what works, if this type of co-parenting works for me, it may not work for Sally over there, but it works for me, so it's possible.
Okay. All right. Amanda, what you got?
I think it's possible. I just think it takes a lot of work, and most people, if I'm being real honest, they just not willing to do all that work. Like,
True.
it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of communication, probably much more communication than somebody would love to have with their ex.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes collaboration. It really takes putting your children first. Like,
Say that part again.
First. And
First.
when I say putting your children first, I'm talking about like, despite how I feel, despite
Yeah.
how you feel, like
Yeah.
it could be something I absolutely hate and don't want to do, but if I'm thinking about her first, it's exactly what should be done for her.
Right.
And that's the God's honest truth. And it's hard to do. It's very hard to do that. My daughter has lied to me because she didn't want me to feel bad. She's lied to him because she don't want him to feel bad. You know,
Mhm.
and because she's felt like she's been in the middle.
Mhm.
And that's partly our doing. Even with not saying anything to her, just the temperature of the communication, how
They
and it doesn't
know.
have to be
Yeah.
seeing an argument. Everybody thinks like, oh, don't argue in front of your kids. Don't bitch about your ex in front of you. It doesn't even
But they
have to
can feel
be.
the tension, right?
It's just the feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just her knowing I don't really want to go to his house and knock on the door
Mhm.
and drop you off. I don't really want to. And I didn't even used to have my mother take her because I didn't want to go over there. And my daughter knew I didn't want to go. So then it was like, oh, it's easier just not to communicate. So I won't talk about dad. I got her a phone so she could talk to him and he could talk to her whenever you want. But to her, it was, oh, mommy don't want to deal with dad, so that's why she got me the phone.
Right.
I just won't talk about.
You're
Like
right.
kids are much more intuitive than we give them credit for sometimes.
Yes, they are.
And they know what's going on even when it's not said. So we have to be so careful. Sometimes I had to check myself and just say like, hey, let me watch how I say things about him. Not even what I'm saying, just how I say it.
How you say it too,
Hey,
yeah.
we're going to your dad's house instead of like, oh, I gotta take
But that's hard though, isn't it though, Amanda?
Yeah, it's definitely
yeah,
hard.
it's hard.
It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
So it's being considerate of every little thing, and you got to be in a crazy emotionally stable, good place to do it.
But then don't I find that sometimes even because they are intuitive, if I fake it,
No,
they
if
will
you
be
fake
like,
it, it's worse.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
worse.
fake it, it's worse because kids know
they
when
call
you're
me
not
out
being
on it and be
authentic.
like,
That's
you
why
don't
I
even
said you
believe
got to
that.
be in a healthy
Yeah.
space because you have to really be in a space where you are unbothered and biased. And Boogie, to your point, it's never always gonna be that way, because sometimes the best choice for them is making a concession. It's saying like, I concede to that. All right, cool. Or I have to let that go because it on the list of priorities, that's not as important. And that's not easy to do.
Yeah,
You might think that's not the best thing.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to concede because you just lost. You lost the fucking battle. It's out of your control. Now you're an idiot if you're trying to fight something that there's nothing you
like
can
what
do.
are you gonna do? Go to their house, bang on the door? Like
Nope.
next thing you know, people are calling the cops and all types of stuff.
But it has the domino effect of, oh, you won that battle. Now I hate your ass more.
Yeah, no, and that's
and I'm gonna pull back even more
it's
from having to
hard.
deal
It's
with
hard.
you.
I'll give y'all a good tiny example. My daughter was at his house. I think she was 5. She's 13 now. She was little. Called me from the cell phone late at night. Not late, like 10:30. Crying, mom, home by myself.
See, that's a case right there.
I said,
that's
where's
what
your
I'm
dad?
saying.
She was like, he's not here. I'm scared. My phone's about to die. She's crying on FaceTime. Zoe, walk around, go see your dad. Where's your dad? She's crying hysterical. I'm scared. The lights are off. I text him. He don't answer. It's 10:30 at night. I text him again like, yo, Zoe's on the phone with me. She's saying she's home by herself. He answers me back a while later. By the time he answers me, I've already called 911 for a wellness check.
Was you still only 4 minutes away from her?
At this point, I wasn't. At this point, he was.
I'd have been pulling up like, all right, I'm right out front.
No, I was actually that's what made it more difficult. I was out of town.
Oh.
So it's late at night. I'm out of town. I have no way of getting to her. He won't answer the phone. By the time he answered me, I had already called 911 for a wellness check. Now, he's pissed because I've called I've called other people to that what?
He said, where was he?
He said he was home. He said he was home, but I didn't see her move around because she was on FaceTime and she was scared to move around the house.
Do you believe him? Did you believe him?
At the time, no, I didn't. I thought either the girlfriend was there and she didn't want to mess with her, or she was really scared to walk around the house because the house was dark. I felt like because she was crying, he would have heard her because it was an apartment. But he also lived in an apartment that was like a building where even if I went, I couldn't like go up to even if my mom or somebody, I sent somebody, they can't walk up to the door because it was one of those like fob apartments.
Right.
So by the time the cops get there, he answers the door. Now he's pissed at me. Like, why the F would you have the cops come to my house? And of course, for years after that, I'm unforgiven and the bitch on the other end because I called the cops on him. And in my head, I did the only thing another parent could do when I didn't, my hands were tied.
Yeah, definitely.
But that shit lasted for years because all he had for years was like, oh, she called the cops on me. And again, I only shared that way because that's how two different sides could get I know for a fact on my side, I did the right thing.
Yeah, he should
But
definitely take a step back and
on
see it
his
from your
side,
angle.
he's like, "Oh, you couldn't wait it 5 more minutes." Da, 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 da. I'm like, she's crying. She's saying her
5
phone's
more
about to
minutes.
die. Like,
She was 5. You was in the right for that.
she was
'cause I
a
would have
baby.
too.
Like,
Yep.
but of course, forever he was on some shit like, "Oh, you tried to make me get in trouble. You were trying to get me hemmed up. You were trying to get me looked at as a bad parent." And I was
Emotional.
like, it wasn't that deep for me. I just wasn't there, and I felt like my hands were tied. But those kind of things, I think, can get to the point where, like, of course, I'm gonna see things one way because I'm one person.
Did your daughter ever say, yeah, oh, he was in another room and then he came out or whatever? So you don't know if he may have never really been there at all.
No, because she stayed in her room. So to her, the next time she saw him was cops banging on the door, and he was mad they were at the door. Because she was.
But he could have hurried home though.
She didn't want to walk around the house because the house was. She said the house was dark. She was scared, so she like opened the door in front of me and looked out, but she didn't go walking around. So he could have been there.
When she had you on the phone, did she go, "Daddy"? She didn't.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I would have been like,
I know. I said the same thing. She was crying like loudly. She was like, so that kind of, and they were in an apartment. So I was kind of like,
how you didn't hear?
Yeah.
And then you said you reached out to him and he didn't get back to you till a while later.
And he didn't get back to me till like, it was like 10 minutes, like 8 or 9
what's
minutes.
going through my mind is,
you was right in that.
If I was to guess, I think he ran to the store or like a 7-Eleven or something. I don't think he would, if he was gone, I don't think he was gone for very long. And
did you calculate the time though?
It was 8 minutes before. It was like 7 or 8 minutes before he texted me back. And he was like, what are you talking about? Because I was like, if you don't text me back in a second, I'm calling the fucking cops. Like, because my first text was, hey, Zoe's on the phone. She says she's home by herself. Where are you? He didn't answer. I waited a couple minutes. I said, if you don't answer me, I'm calling the police. He didn't answer again. And then I called, and then he answered me. So, but it was only like, it was like a 7 or 8 minute thing. So it wasn't like he took forever.
That's 8 minutes forever for a 5.
But 8 minutes is forever when you on FaceTime looking at your kid hysterical.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It is forever when the child is 5 too. That's like,
for 5,
it's not like she was 13.
And I didn't know. She kept saying that she was like, that she knew her phone was about to die. So that was the other thing. I was like, if she is home alone, I don't know how long I got before her phone just cuts off. So there was a lot of things in my head, and then I was out of state and I couldn't get a hold of nobody to get over there to just be next to the building. If somebody happened to open the door, they could just run in and check. So there were so many things going through my head.
You were absolutely right. There was nothing wrong with
my screen stopped. What's going on?
I don't know. You're frozen. You're back, man. You were absolutely right, and there was nothing wrong with what you did.
Nope. Yeah.
This is an example of him not thinking you did it in good faith or giving you the benefit of the doubt just because y'all don't get along.
We not on.
So we as men can be guilty of not giving you the benefit of the doubt in a situation that you legitimately were worried about your daughter, given all those circumstances. So I feel you on that.
It's just hard because, like you said, you have those issues where you're already like in a bad and not a great space. So him not trusting that my intent was just her well-being.
Right. He's thinking, oh, she felt like this was her shot.
Exactly.
And she took it.
He was like, she trying to get me now.
Yeah.
And
so I wonder how long were you supposed to wait with a call like that, though? Like sometimes that's why I said
you weren't supposed to wait. You weren't supposed to wait.
Thank you. But when it comes to emotional, right?
5 years
I feel
old,
like
you should have the child be able to fucking say, "Daddy," and you be like, "Hey, I'm right here. What's up?"
Yeah. But that's why I said when it comes to like the emotions, like there's not a grace period, but your character as being a mom should have came into play, and nobody wants that type of call. Like your daughter is 5, nobody wants that type of call, and you out of town. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to like the emotional maturity. That would have been like, dang, sorry you had. I know that could have been bad for you. You out of town. Your daughter's calling you. My bad. I understand why you called the police. That to me would have been it,
the
because I
call
would have
I got
understood.
after that was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I can see, I know what you're trying to do. And I was like,
Ask the
all
bad
right.
question. I'm the mother, nigga.
Yeah, like he should have expected that you would be
Right, as a mother. Like,
I seen
you
that
lucky
text,
that's
I'd be
all that
calling you
call
back
wasn't police.
immediately.
I could have called the FBI, the fire department.
Look, I was ready. I was gonna call my mom, my brothers, like, yo,
my
pull up,
cousins would have
please.
came
Somebody
there
go
to
knock
the
on the
house,
door.
pull up. Yep. I would have called my family. My family would have showed up. I could have called everybody. You lucky all you got was the police, dude. Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard. It's a tough thing. I think, like I said, I think it's possible, but it takes so much work. So much.
How many people are really capable though of doing that level of work? It depends on when you split too. Like doing it from 5 to 18 is way harder than doing it from 13 to 18.
And the sustainability of that. Like, so my little brother is separated, and I always tell him, like, I'm so proud of you, because he's cool with her parents. They still talk. Now they have their moments like any co-parenting, but they communicate, they go to the games, like he goes with his partner, she goes with her husband, like everybody goes together, everybody's supporting the kids, everybody's doing stuff.
That's what I think.
He even went to their house with his girl, the kids, her kids, for holidays, so they could all be with the kids together.
That's
both
good.
couples.
I think
all
I
the
could
kids.
I think I could if he was a good father. If he was a good father and not just a provider, I think I would be okay with that.
I think that I always tell him, I'm like, I'm proud of you for just being able to do that.
Tell him I'm proud of him too. Good job.
Because sometimes it takes, like, it's because you're still in those moments, you're still conceding to certain things, because you're still going like, yeah, I really don't want to do this. I'm just doing it for my son.
Yeah,
that
means he was a good father. He's a good father. Yeah.
The fact that they can do that and have those conversations and be like, hey, you going to the game? Hey, you going to pick him up? Hey, you dropping him off? I'll meet you there. Oh, I got it. Don't worry about it.
And that's gonna make his life better long term, because kids have their own kids, then you have shared grandkids, then you got weddings to go to. You're gonna fucking have to look at this person if the child pulls their parents together for special moments, whether it's their first baby, their marriage, whatever it might be, the grandchild's first birthday party. Who the fuck
even the
knows?
Communication, like my nephew, his communication with family is so different than how my daughter is with family, because he talks to everyone, because everyone's involved. So there is no, like, you know how kids get on the phone, they act all weird and quiet. If I call my daughter when she's at her dad's house, she's like, hi, Mom. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Because she's in front of him, so she feels weird.
Yeah.
When I talk to my nephew, hey, Titi, yeah, no, I'm here with Mom. I'm here doing this. I'm here with Grandpa. I'm going to like the communication.
The environment is different.
He's more comfortable. He's more open. He's more talkative about things going on in whoever's house, because he sees everyone. It's just a
Would you say that's because your brother is a good father?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I would say it's because he's a good father and
say what?
All right. We gotta wrap this up, man. What we doing?
Calvino, you always what does that have to do with the good father
Man, it's
stuff?
2 hours, man. Shit.
Late.
We 2 hours into the jump, man. God damn.
Yeah, about that. All right, so with that said, what's y'all final?
I looked at the clock when I was logged in, Nate.
So with that said,
you gonna have it out.
We really are, Calvino. We really are.
Y'all need to put the gloves on. So
I know, right?
So listen, with all that said, what's y'all final thoughts? Who actually makes co-parenting harder, men or women?
Both.
Both from there.
Both.
We good? Both for everybody?
I'll say both. I'll say both.
I'm gonna say both, and I'm gonna say one more thing. The best co-parenting is just to stay together, like old people used to do.
Yeah.
This shit here, co-parenting,
That is the best.
bullshit.
That is.
That's the best. Just
That's the
work this
best.
shit out.
Oh, see,
Everyone's not
I would
everyone's
argue with
not
that all
blessed to
day
get
because I
that.
don't believe that.
But I
Me
don't got
neither,
all
like
day.
you, I
Amanda.
don't like
We had
you.
to, we had to,
I
we had
don't
to
like
set
you. I
that
don't
up.
like you.
There's a
I
lot of
believe that,
people who
Amanda.
stay together for the benefit of the kids.
That's not a
Yep.
benefit. What if
I
I
think
can't
that's
stand
the.
you and we live together
Thank
every
you.
day? Our
I
house is
think that's.
miserable.
Yo,
You know,
I
I
was
think
so
that,
thinking
and
that's
there's
about
the
times when
something.
there's
Hold on.
times when
Are you saying that's
the
good or
kids
bad
say
though,
that.
Joe?
Huh?
I
Are
think
you
that
saying it's good or bad? Staying together just for the kids.
I think it's it could be good or bad. Like if you hate each other, it's fucking bad. No. But if you guys actually have like little things that you can't get along and
work
actually
out.
maybe going to therapy and stuff like that because you know that keeping this nucleus family together is the best bet and
It
y'all
is
guys
best for the kids.
it's best for the kids, then you work on yourselves and you realize later on down the line, you know what?
But if
The
y'all
right
don't
choice.
So
really
what
You
like
made the
about when
right
they
choice.
leave
not.
after the
So
kids
how
are
you get married
grown?
Now,
then if
now
you don't
that's the
really like
thing.
each
That's the
other?
thing. That means
How?
y'all were never supposed to be together. Now, if you just
Either
stay
way
for the
is
kids, and
okay.
as soon as the kids are grown, you bounce. Nah, I don't think so. Because sometimes the kids see the bullshit the whole way through.
That's what I'm saying.
If the
What you
kids see the
say, Bino?
bullshit the
I
whole way
know.
But
through, the shit.
I
sometimes
saw
they
Bino
don't.
jump out of
Bino,
his
what you
chair
say?
towards
I'm an
me.
example of someone who didn't see none of this shit. My pop split with my mom and I was grown. I was an
Mhm.
adult at that time.
Right.
My sister was like 11th grade.
Uh-huh.
I know that kids are not dumb. I know that for a fact. My youngest son, has been discerning situations since he was like 7. He just didn't buy the
Amanda,
bull
you
crap.
had
He
to
just
like
Wait,
him,
I
you married him.
don't that with
said
Bino, but
what?
I saw
You
him
learn
hop
from
out his
what?
chair.
All
So
right,
What you say,
Amanda, you
Gabino?
said if you don't like each other, you had to like him. You married him. You liked him
okay, I'll answer that.
a lot.
I'll answer that. When you marry somebody and y'all have no children, when I got
Totally different.
married, I had no children. I was in the Navy. I was making good money. I was doing my own thing, and he was doing his own thing. He had been previously married or whatever. It wasn't until we had children, a house,
Oh,
dogs, and the dynamic started to change, and the
You see who they
expectations
are.
started to
Yeah.
change, and that person starts to change because of the responsibilities, and then you're like, wait a minute, that's not even the same person I met.
I completely agree with you. Just because you marry this person, they could be a good father, but a bad husband. They could be she could be a good wife, but a bad mother. You know what I'm saying? You don't. They could be a good provider, good husband, but a horrible father.
And as
Yeah.
It's
circumstances
hard to
change,
get.
we get more
Sometimes it's
things.
hard to get all three.
Yeah, you get more things on your plate. People start getting lazy in certain areas, or I mean, and I'm not that's not even just my experience. It's just it's like scientific fact. It's like the people can only handle but so much in a certain area in their life. And most times something goes awry. Like how you hear men a lot that say like, oh, once you have kids and once you have a house and things, we don't have sex no more. That's a problem.
People change, yo.
That's a problem. People get lazy, then something is falling off, and
They
all
get
of a sudden we not working no more. And I think if you're in the same house together, me personally, I can't fake it. If I don't like you, I don't like you. And I don't want to be in the same space with you. I'm not sharing the house. We ain't sharing the bed. We ain't sharing I'm not sleeping.
When you walk in the door, you be like, ugh.
Nah. Now, if we co-parenting and it's over, I'm cool. We cool. I don't care. What you do to go over there and do whatever you want. I'll be over here doing whatever I want. My business on my mind.
So ultimately, you're saying if you're not really happy, you should split up. Don't stay together for the kids.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's fixable things. Like somebody said, like if it's something small where it's like the little things we could work, but both people got to be in on that. I can't just decide I'm hanging here for the kids.
Yeah, do it again. Do the hand again. I'm hanging here.
Well, I don't think that is what Calvino was trying to say. It was just like keep it all way. Okay, it's better when you're comparing things like the way that it used to be back in the time. People just stay together because that's all that they wanted to do. Just stay together.
Yeah, but a lot of people stayed and weren't happy.
Kids know that shit. Kids know when they with parents that don't even want to be around each other. They're like, my parents don't even like each other.
Right.
Yeah, they know. What'd you say, Mac? Happiness ain't what?
Happiness ain't that important. Get them kids to adulthood, then go be happy.
I
Have a
agree.
second,
Yeah,
Calvino,
man.
you
have a
would have
second
stayed. You would
By
have
the time
stayed
your
with
ass
the one.
grow up, you died a
Calvino,
couple
you
days
would have
later.
stayed with. You would have stayed with who you was with. Calvino, the way you just talking, you would have stayed.
Now,
I would have been
if
Exactly.
you
dead.
I
if
know you,
you're with
Matt.
somebody,
Hold up.
if you're with
Hold up.
somebody like, if I was with somebody like Bino and say like, I feel like, and this is just me guessing, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel
I
like
will.
if we were together and we had a kid together, I'm just as an example, if you have a conversation where we go, you know what, this is not really working out the way it is, and he were to say like, I think we should just stay together for the kids. If I know
wouldn't say
that's
that.
what's happening,
I would lie
Calvino,
to you.
I want to know, but I want to know what Calvino, because he just said they should
he
stay
just said
together
I
for
would
the
lie
kids.
to you.
The way that he just talked about
Yes,
his ex,
but
I
see,
want to
deep
know.
down, people know when somebody is phony with
I
shit like
want to
that.
know
Not
if
You would
always.
never know.
Calvino
Not
will say.
always.
You would never know.
Calvino,
Or then you
Yeah.
going out there doing shit you shouldn't be doing, and I'm thinking
No,
everything's cool.
wait, Amanda,
That's just another problem.
Amanda,
Hold
let
up, hold up,
Calvino,
hold up.
Amanda, let Calvino answer. Calvino, you said they should have stayed together for the kids. Judging, going off of how you talked about your ex, you would have stayed for your sake of your son.
I didn't marry her though. If I would have married her, I would have just stuck it out. I
You would have,
just
you
made
would have
it
stuck it
happen.
out.
I
I would have
believe
stuck
him.
it out.
I
Oh,
believe
really?
him.
Okay.
And
Matt,
that's
tell
what
him
we
your
normally
famous
Because
do.
you
quote.
got a piece of paper.
Tell him your famous quote. You're not afraid of marriage.
I'm afraid of divorce.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm be
I can
honest.
understand, and again, to your point, I understand because I've done that too, and that shit is horrible.
It
It
is,
is.
and I know,
But I would
but
have got
nobody
over.
really gets married. Nobody gets married to get divorced. Mine was solely you get tired of the verbal abuse. It was just so many things, and it wasn't healthy for my kids to see me in that environment at all. Because once you start disrespecting and you keep disrespecting and it elevates, why would you stay there? Like it
Yeah,
sends a sign, especially having boys. It sends a sign that as long as you are a provider, I can talk and treat you any kind of way.
But
And
it
the
just
devil is a
said that
liar.
though. Happiness is not that important. Happiness is not as
It's not.
important if we try to make it out to be.
Yes, that's his
I think when
opinion,
people
and
are
that's not
do
happy,
you agree
mine.
with that,
I think when
son?
people
Do
are
you agree
happy,
with
they're
that?
better parents.
Say it again.
That
Happy
is
people
his
are better parents.
opinion. That is not
Say
true.
it
My
again.
Now
Say it
happiness
we
again.
had
is
this
The
conversation
important.
happy
before.
But
people are better
We had this
parents.
I'm
conversation
just
before.
curious.
Look,
Do you
look,
agree
Happy
with
people
look.
are
that?
better
That
What I
parents.
happiness is
believe.
not
Sure.
important.
Say it again.
Do you agree with what Calvino
Happiness
said?
is
That
not is as important as the responsibility.
do you
Son,
agree
you
with
don't
that?
think you would be a
I
better father if you were happy?
Yeah,
Nah.
and
Yes,
that's
I
why I was
would.
talking about. Look, and that's why I think the happiness should trickle down from us. Like, we got this problem with because we already got a problem with happiness. We got a problem with
Yeah.
women's happiness and their independence. Okay, where to get you? You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
and
So
that's a whole nother conversation because
yeah, it
Yes,
is
we're
another
saying
conversation.
happiness
you said that
I'm rolling,
yeah,
y'all.
Calvino stated
yeah.
All right.
you said that
Now,
Calvino stated that's the reason why for happiness.
Hold up. You
My
said
happiness
Calvino?
is just
Albino said,
yes. Calvino said that
"I'm gonna
you
let
said
him."
that you should stay together in
motherfucker
happiness. You
pop
said
back
something about
quick.
happiness.
Hold up.
He did, didn't
Yeah,
he?
you
I heard
said
my
that
name.
happiness, who cares about happiness? Happiness
I didn't say
is
who cares.
important.
It's not that important.
He just said it's not
It's
that
not that
important.
important. And it is important because if I'm not happy, it spills over.
I
And
think
if he's not happy, it spills over.
Wait a minute.
there was a sense of duty from
Yeah,
other
that's some
previous
sense of
That's what it is.
generations.
selfishness that goes in
There
there
was
It-
too,
a
it-
though.
sense of duty from other generations where that's what I think
yeah,
his sentiment is like.
Right.
exactly.
There's people who be like, yes, we stuck it out for the kids and my personal happiness. I can get that after I know my children are stable and straight and raised
Right.
and whatever. That's what
You got me. I'm out.
means because that way you
Bye,
avoid
Calvino.
maybe some of these scenarios that we just been talking about with co-parenting being as difficult with things like who you bringing them around, who's there, and whatever the hell you're arguing about. Staying together eliminates at least a good 40% of the bullshit.
My
But
happiness
I'll
is
say this
important,
though.
but
But it
it doesn't
eliminates
come.
certain things don't no longer an issue just because of close proximity.
My
Everyone's under one
happiness
roof.
is important, but it doesn't come before the kids. So my happiness is
So you
important, but it
saying what I'm
doesn't come
saying?
before the kids.
You saying the
I
same
know.
thing I'm saying then?
I don't
No, it's
agree.
just the point that you brought.
I don't
You
agree.
said just like Calvino. It doesn't come.
Calvino
It doesn't
said it
come before
wasn't.
the kids. Like if I'm in an environment where they have a good relationship with the father, and then if they have a good relationship and he's a good father, then I want to, because of the environment, yes, we got to work it out. But if he's only a provider, it's okay.
Y'all could call me selfish. My happiness is more important.
It is more important. Thank you. I agree with Amanda.
I'm just saying that previous generations, they
didn't
fucking
think like
it.
that.
They
but
ate
I'm gonna tell you why I think that. I
agree with you, Amanda. That's what I'm saying. My happiness is important.
Yeah, I think my happiness is more important than any of that shit, because one, if I got kids, boy or girl, they have to see that relationship every day. And that becomes their expectation of relationships. They get to see people either love on each other, respect each other,
and how they problem
enjoy
solve.
one another, be happy with
how
one
they
another.
solve.
Or they get to see two people who got a full-time job just being parents.
Yep.
And
they just come home
older. Okay, but look, we can't.
agree.
And sometimes when they get older, they'll say, I never saw you happy until you wasn't with, daddy. So that's not a good look.
But if you're saying that the children are more important, and it worked at one point, then what are we talking about here?
I think they are more important. But to me, my happiness is a priority in that situation, because I'm thinking about her future. I'm thinking about, what is she going to expect from a man when she's in a relationship? What is respect and love and companionship? What is that going to look like?
You're talking about your peace. You're not talking about your happiness. I mean, like, come on.
That is happiness.
My happiness? My priority was always my kids, and I was not happy. I was not happy when I was with a parent, and I was not happy after I was done. My kids were my priority. I think that's what Calvino was trying to say. It is not about my happiness. It's about my peace. My peace was worthwhile, and I needed that in order for me to continue to be a good mother to my children.
That's what we said.
I'm just saying, I feel like
when we talk about happiness, people have to really define happiness, because you know what?
And that's why
Steve was saying was nothing wrong what he was saying.
It's like a thing.
Yeah,
your sense of duty. Your sense of duty is going to be
to raise that child.
I think that's what
your sense of duty is that's what you come with. You already come packaged with that. Okay, naturally. Okay, your happiness is day to day. Okay, if, for example, if I bring you flowers today, Amanda, okay, then I bring you flowers next week, and I bring you flowers the week after that. After a while, the flower shit gonna get kind of like, all right, so you brought me flowers. So now I got to think of another way.
But that's the thing, and I think, again, that's the mentality. You don't make me happy.
Right, that's why you should be happy.
Yes.
I have to be happy with me.
I didn't want to cut you off, but that's yes.
Oh, wait a minute though. But in a relationship, though,
making me happy.
When you think about
when I'm thinking about the relationship, I'm just thinking about it. That's why I said, if we can live peacefully and I can still be happy and you can still be a happy individual, and we're respecting one another and we can respect each other's space and we understand where we're at, and that comes with being mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. If we can move in a way that we're two happy people and we just have an understanding that we're raising our children and it's not an unhappy environment, we're not fighting, they still get to see the best of us, then I'm cool with that.
But that's why I said happiness instead of what G was saying, peaceful. Your happiness is going to change day to day sometimes.
Of course, like
but your
situationally,
peace.
But who you are, if you are a generally happy person, if you are happy with yourself, and that's how I'm not talking about like in the day-to-day sense where it's logistical, like I'm in a good mood today. I'm talking about if I'm happy within myself, if I'm in a good mental and emotional space, then I'm happy.
That's more peaceful though. You know what I'm saying? So let me give you an example of what I mean. Like, okay, so I'm co-parenting with somebody, right? But I'm arguing with the mother every week about certain things that she's doing with the children that I just don't like. All right. That's something I can't control.
Mm-hmm.
So my inner peace is going to tell me, look, I'm going to stop worrying about that because I can't control that. I got enough time with my children that I can pour into them what I need to pour into them and be patient enough to wait for it to manifest. You understand what I'm saying? So that I can control. All right. That right there to me seems like inner peace. That looks like peaceful to me. Okay. I'm not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I got enough inner peace in myself to say, okay, I'm going to deal with what I can deal with, and that can spill over into my child.
I understand.
But it takes patience. And I'm saying, like, sometimes we might have to wait 10, 20 years for it to show itself. But as a man, I feel like that's something that we need to work on. If we can't deal with it, if we can't control, we need to stop fighting for that control, because we can't control it, and there's nothing else what we can do but what we can do. So I'll handle what I can. So while I got my children with me, and I'm not speaking for myself, I'm just saying, but if I
Yeah,
got my
like
children
as an
with me,
example,
then I'm not gonna be bitter. Okay, I'm just gonna be like, okay, this is what I can control. Plus, this is my blood, so what's in me is in them too. So eventually, if I pour in positivity to that child, coming from my inner peace, because I'm not bitter about what's going on that I can't control, then I get a chance for that to manifest later on. But I got to be patient enough to wait for that. And
No,
that's all I'm saying.
I get it. I think in the context of how we're discussing like happiness, peacefulness, like the definition and how we see it is different.
Yeah,
That's
it
I
might
agree.
be
I agree
more.
with that too.
It might be more about whether or not you feel actually fulfilled. Because if it's not combative and argumentative, you might say, "Oh yeah, well, this is something we could work through, and it's not that bad." And my kids don't see us arguing all the time; they're not seeing nothing too fucked up. But you still feel unfulfilled. You don't have that
Yeah, and do they see you coming together
connection.
too? Like, do you have
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
important.
I'm talking about even if you're
it's so
not coming
hard.
together,
It's just
though,
all
like
hard.
dealing with what you can deal with if you're not coming together, if you're not agreeing.
I love when
Okay,
they're grown. When they grow the fuck up.
I like it too. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I just think
That's
I'm
my
saying
favorite part.
I'm
When they're
saying
an
that as
adult.
prioritizing your emotional health and well-being and balance in any way you can. Like there are gonna be perpetual problems always.
Always.
But when you prioritize your emotional health and well-being, you show up better, regardless of who you're dealing with. Parents, co-parents, kids, grandparents, whatever.
And I don't think that happiness is like, like day to day, like, oh, what can make me happy today? Oh, if I ran 6 miles. I think that it's a core of your relationship. Like they see the problem solving, like you have a disagreement. Do they ever see y'all come back together after a argument? Is you being disrespectful when there is a disagreement? Or do they ever see that? Like happen, that is important because what are you with someone for if you don't have that companionship? That shouldn't make people happy because that's a space filler. That's just somebody that is coming in and they see that. And then if you talk to your kids as they get older, they're going to tell you what they saw. And they might think that as long as this person is paying bills, that's all that's happiness to me.
And I think that stuff trickles over. Like
Yeah.
I grew up in a house where my grandmother raised me. My mom was working. My dad was, he was always around, but he was weekends, and I know my parents loved me. I know they did the best they can, but I also knew when they were fighting. I also knew when they weren't talking. I also knew when they weren't, and that shit isn't healthy either.
Yeah.
So it's like they did, in their minds, they were doing the best they could. They were trying to stay together for as long as possible. And even that doesn't work. Like there's always something that everything has a cost.
Yep.
And then kids grow
and
up.
two different people that
play out.
communicate differently and problem solve differently is a problem. And that causes it too. So staying in it, if your communication is different,
it can cause you to get kids to give up right away because they're like, I don't want to be unhappy, I'm leaving. Or they can hang on forever and just stay in the same relationship forever because they're like, I don't want to be like my parents and break up. Like, it just depends.
Yeah. I mean, true. You're right. Everything y'all saying is right. Don't give up. Don't let nobody stand in your way of being a parent, being a father, being a mother to your child. You know what I'm saying? Don't use your kids as pawns to get at each other. Stop being so jealous. Think of the kid rather than yourself in a lot of things. And I guarantee you it'd be better for both parties. The child is the most important part. They didn't ask to be here.
Amen.
So Let sit with that for a second. With all that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
All right, y'all.
Peace.